We're just gonna go through some of my older videos. Law of attraction, like just starting out. Old school Nay. If you guys have been with me through this journey since this time, I love you the most. Good morning, welcome to my channel. Today we're starting a series. I feel like I'm always adjusting the camera when I'm talking. I should adjust it first and then talk. Okay, sorry. Hi, welcome. This is for OG subscribers. I've been wanting to do this for so long, and I've been doing it kind of sporadically by myself. A lot of like bedtime and bed rest in my pregnancies. So I've been kind of like going and like kind of just reminiscing on the past, and just seeing how far this channel has come is actually insane to me. I feel like I'm gonna cry. Why am I gonna cry? I just think that you guys are so special throughout all the years of everything we've ever been through together. Like, it's just insane to me. I just cannot believe how much of this channel has been a part of my life. And I just really appreciate you guys, and I really love you guys for, you know, giving me the space to create and document this life, which is just crazy to me. I feel like we've been through tons of ups and downs together. It'll just be fun to kind of go through before this next chapter in our lives of moving. I just want to like kind of reminisce and explore our past, like just kind of talk about it. So grab a coffee. It's gonna be kind of like just like a chill, you know, sit down little video, and we're just gonna go through some of my older videos. So this one is gonna be all in 2019. Law of attraction, Nay, like just starting out. I was still working another job. Old school Nay. If you guys have been with me through this journey since this time, I love you the most. It's gonna be so much fun. Okay, we're gonna go and scroll all the way down. Oh my god, this was like such a fun part of my life. Like, I was working full-time, and I just really wanted to do YouTube full-time. So I was just kind of reaping everything that I could from my real job until I was able to like transition to full-time. And then when I transitioned to full-time, it was like my dream come true, and I worked my ass off to get there. I was working 2 full-time jobs essentially, and then a whole bunch of part-time jobs. I was really just racking up and utilizing my time, which I really recommend to anyone who is younger. Like, do as much as you can. Like, there's no such thing as like work-life balance. I think just go for it. Like, you're never gonna have this much time. My channel gained traction from law of attraction content, and that's kind of when my life shifted, was when I started utilizing the law of attraction, positivity, gratitude, trusting the universe, living as if you have what you're already manifesting, like tapping in tune with that, like all those things. So okay, let's just look at this January plan with me. I used to do a ton of plan with me's, and I loved that they were so popular. Oh my gosh. It's gonna make me cry. You know, this was like, my innocent, you know? I feel like I'm gonna cry already. My dad was here. The world hadn't touched me yet. Everything was just so perfected, like shots, and I was just playing. It was so much fun. I love this era of YouTube. Who remembers that shirt? Oh my god, I love that shirt. And get my upload schedule fixed, set my intentions, go through my resolutions. I'm so cute. Journal and positivity and the effects of a positive lifestyle. I love this journal. Damn, girl. I was always working out, always eating healthy. That's always been a part of who I am. That apartment was so peaceful. You see it? And this is like before I had a lot of like money. Like, everything in there was secondhand, or my mom gave it to me, or IKEA. I don't think the world was so obsessed with consumerism back then, without the overconsumption of needing everything, which I think this world has a lot of now, and it's exhausting. Everything was so slow back then too. I like the music. Ugh, that part was so nice. Hey guys, what's up, and welcome back to my channel. I think this is when I found out that my dad had cancer, and this was in June, and he passed in March the next year. He technically beat it in December, and then come January he still was having problems, like he still was hurting. So he had to get a biopsy again. After he was told in December, and we celebrated Christmas with, like, he beat cancer and all that stuff. Come March, he was in the hospital one night, and I was actually at a Billie Eilish concert. I remember calling him, and it was not uncommon for him to be in the hospital. Like, he was in and out of the hospital a lot during that time, so it wasn't anything crazy. And I remember calling him saying, like, do you want me to come home? I was in Orlando. He's like, no, like, it's fine, like, I'll be home tomorrow. They just wanted me to keep me, they didn't want to keep me overnight. And he was getting his biopsy results the next day. And I've never seen my dad afraid of anything in my life. If this didn't work, he went through chemo and radiation, that he'd have to get that tracheotomy, which is like you have that thing on your throat. And he was not a smoker. He did drink quite a lot, but otherwise generally healthy. He had to get a tracheotomy if this came back positive, and he was like, nay, like, kill me. Like, I cannot do this. Like, I've never seen my dad afraid of anything, and he was afraid of that. He had the biopsy results pending. He died that night. I honestly feel like I black it out. People have told me all the time what happened, but I black it out and I literally forget. And I think that's just my mind forgetting because it was so sudden. And I know it was like an issue. It wasn't, like, he wasn't supposed to die. There was something that went on with the hospital practice or something. I don't even know whatever. It's not worth, like, I'm not gonna get my dad back sitting there thinking about that. But I got the call that night after the concert that he passed away. And it's crazy to me because he had texted me that night, and my dad is not a very sentimental person. Like, we're kind of like awkward. Like, he didn't give lots of like hugs or like talk about like gooey, you know, ishy gooey, whatever you call it, things. Like, he wasn't very sentimental. That night he was telling me how much he loved me over text. He was like, I'm gonna miss you terribly. That was our last text. Yeah, and he was gone, just like that. It was the most surreal moment in my life. Yeah, my life completely just flipped. Like, it was just crazy. That's like the first touch of death I've ever had in my life. And he died the day the world shut down. So not only did my life flip there, but it flipped in the whole COVID world, which we all know what that was like. The biopsy results came back the next day saying it was positive, but he never knew that. So I'm kind of glad that he never had to have that fear of like having that tracheotomy or knowing that he just went through hell that last year. Okay, so my dad has been diagnosed with stage 3 throat cancer. My poor little self. Oh my gosh. Oh yeah, all the like night routines and morning routines. I loved these. These are my favorite to film. I had time to read. Oh, this 5 a.m. morning routine. By the way, I started the 5 a.m. morning routines, okay? I had to wake up at 5 in the morning because I was teaching kids in China English online. So I had to wake up on their time, and I also went to bed super, super late. It was called Q Kids. I don't know if you can still do it. Yeah, I woke up at 5 for some reason. I had to. It's so cozy. I tried every shot. That's like when my artistic side came out, was filming these routine videos. I always tried to make it look so nice. These are the most powerful, deep 20 lessons that I have ever came across. Let's see what they are. I loved spirituality videos and law of attraction videos because I was so into it myself. I actually posted my first law of attraction video just for myself, like for fun. I researched a whole bunch of stuff on how to raise your vibration, and I was like, I couldn't find a video about it. So I just made a video about it by reading a whole bunch of stuff online and researching, and I kind of just journaled, and I filmed a video from my journaling, and it got so many views. And so I was like, okay, there's something here. I didn't know people were interested in this. So I started doing more, and I realized people really liked it. And I'm like, oh, this is perfect. Like, I love this. I'm gonna film this. So I just made a series every Wednesday, come back to my channel. But I really wanted to do lifestyle content. I would have like a schedule. Like every Monday I would post what I wanted to post / lifestyle, like things that were popular, routine videos, beauty videos, like that kind of stuff. And then every Wednesday would be a Manifestation Wednesday video, and then every Friday would be some sort of like play that I was just like having fun with. And then I started intertwining my law of attraction content, because so many people subscribed to me for that, into my vlogs. So people started watching my vlogs, and then they really liked my vlogs, and then eventually people started coming for my lifestyle content because they liked that as well. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So the first and foremost is thoughts become things. That's pretty simple when it comes to the law of attraction and the power of perspective. Eckhart Tolle's quote, "You are always meeting yourself." Like whatever you see in the world is kind of like a mirror of what you're thinking. I always want to get back into the law of attraction, but I feel like I've been through so many trials lately. It's hard for me to be positive. Sometimes I feel like it's exhausting, which is so sad because I do believe there's so much power in your mind. Back then I was so invested in it and I loved it. I researched it. It was a huge part of who I was, and I did attract the most I've ever attracted during that time. So maybe I should just go through and like watch all of my law of attraction content. So I was having so much fun creating, but at the same time I was dealing with my dad. I don't know, it felt like a little bit out of touch sometimes when you would think those thoughts or think that way, because I was dealing with my dad. To sit there and be like that and promote those kind of videos, like again, I was a little naive and I was younger, and so it's like you can think that way and you can be that way, but people are dealing with real life shit, and to sit there and be like, oh, just think positive, and like a lot of people were saying like you attract bad things, and like if you are negative, like there was just so much pressure around it, and I was just starting to kind of disconnect from that almost naive kind of mindset that you have when you're younger, which is kind of sad because I never want anyone else to stray away from that, especially when you're younger. You have this like zest and like love of life, and you don't have a lot of problems, which you shouldn't, hopefully, that it's like almost pure to see someone in that mindset. But I was kind of starting to, you know, have internal issues at home that were kind of overriding that kind of mindset. And so I made a video. I stopped doing law of attraction videos. In my life, shit started happening. I started doing more. I saw more progression without it than I did with it. Instead of fantasizing about my life, I was actually living my life. And I stopped really buying into this lifestyle because I see a lot of people who take advantage of this, because it's now become almost like a trend, a lifestyle. Like if you guys, oh yeah, I hated when people would post things like how to manifest a car, how to manifest good looks, how to manifest your perfect person through a text. Those stupid like catchy things that people would like use as clickbait. Spirituality was so much more to me. It was just like a mindset, and it wasn't a magical, you know, whimsical spell that you could put on yourself to get what you wanted. And people made it so material, and I'm like, you guys are literally getting this all wrong, and it was stressing me out. And I'm like, this is not what it's about. And people started asking me for that kind of content. I'm like, that's not what I'm doing. Yeah. So then I had this crazy idea to move to New York City because I was watching a lot of New York City vloggers, and I was like, I want to do this. I kind of hid it from you guys for like the whole year, and I made this video. I am officially moving to New York City. So it is currently April 17th, 2019. I have decided to do this crazy thing and move to New York. It's even weird to say. I did this before my dad was diagnosed, and I think I talk about it in Tampa, Florida. I'm kind of just in my bubble. I've lived in the same area since I was born. I did move to Orlando for 4 years when I was in college, and those are some of the best times of my life because I kind of got out of my comfort zone, out of my little bubble. So I just visited New York City with a friend of mine, and I really liked it. I think there's so much to do and so many different opportunities for me, especially in my field. My goal right now, my thing of filming this was showing you guys how, and it was kind of like a law of attraction thing to begin with, how you can have an idea and manifest it. And back then I didn't have enough money for the apartment I wanted. I was like, there's no way I can visualize this. Like, I'm just gonna put it on a vision board, but I can't just put it on a vision board. Like, I have to actually work towards it. So I worked my ass off, and I really wanted the specific apartment, and I just couldn't fathom the idea of paying that much. At the time, my parents couldn't even sign for me. Like, they couldn't make enough money for it. So it's like surpassing your parents in a sense, which also kind of feels weird. This is really scary. Like, I feel like I want it, but it's not really gonna happen. Like, it's one of those things where it's like, that's like, no, it can't happen. But then I started, like, I was like, no, I'm gonna make this happen, and I'm gonna document it, and I'm gonna prove that you can have it. I lived in an area, and I was around a lot of people who just had this like bubble around their mindset. Like, they didn't think outside the box. They didn't want bigger things for themselves. They weren't like on the same wavelength as me. So like living in that space during that time when you had such big dreams and you're a dreamer and a plan, it was hard.
Is to kind of just see how it plays out and live there for about a year. I've been thinking about it now for like a month. I'm like so excited. Okay, my lease is up in March and it's currently in the middle of April, so I have a little less than a year to start planning and preparing for the big move. I also have been telling people, which is kind of the hardest part. They get a little bit thrown off when you're talking about New York City. One, because it's New York City. Two, because I have lived this specific life that I've been living for so long. It's completely different than New York City. It's kind of out of left field. So when I tell people, they're like, what? And I get a lot of like resistance. Hopefully by the time this video comes out, I'm already either moving to New York City or actually in New York City, which is crazy. I am planting the seed. Let's see where this takes us. I can't wait. You guys are so fucking excited. I am kind of getting to the point now where I am so excited. I've done like all these like things to make me pumped up and excited for this move, but it feels so far away now. Thinking about it and getting bored here. I don't know. You sit back and you're like, holy cow, it's so far away. It is currently Monday the 15th. I just want to talk to you guys real quick about people bashing your dreams. Every time that I tell people I'm gonna move, that's a good dream. At least you're dreaming big. And they like talk to me like I'm an idiot. Like,
oh my god, I get that all the time. This is why I kind of isolate sometimes. It's like when I'm working on something or if I have a goal and I talk about it too much and I'm around people who just don't understand or they judge you, it's so frustrating. And they literally talk to you like you are a child and you're just like, that's like one of my biggest pet peeves. That's crazy. And the top comment says big dreams and small-minded people don't mix. And then I started 2020 off with a friggin' bang. I was reading David Goggins, waking up at like 3 in the morning, running 5 miles. I was so hyped. I was like, this is the year.
Good morning, everybody, and happy New Year.
Let's see the New Year plan with me for 2020. Oh my god. That's so cozy.
Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Renee. If you're new, hello, welcome to our channel. I feel like this year is gonna be amazing. So I'm so excited.
Okay, so yeah, I did, oh my god, I did Vlogmas that year. And I did Vlogmas and I would post a week in my life and a weekend in my life, and then through that I would post all the other videos, like morning routine videos, holiday essentials, like those kind of more cut and dry themed videos, which I'm loving so much of. There was something so nice about this period of YouTube. Like I said, it was more curated, but it felt like more highly produced videos, which for me are so much fun. But you also had the mix of real life stuff and like vlogs and all of that. Like it was a really perfect mix, and I think separating the two and curating an escape for somebody was so my vibe. Like I loved creating a space, a cozy little nook on the internet for you guys. Like it was so much fun. At the time, like my biggest problem was thinking about how I'm gonna work and have my dream job, but not having it fully and working really hard to get that. It was a lot of hard work, patience, time, but I was so dedicated that I was getting there. Like whether you were coming with me or not, I was getting there. I had so much fun. I don't know. And then my dad got sick, and that's kind of when things obviously shifted. That was a huge turning point in my life. With that came COVID and New York City. So I'm gonna go down that route next video. I'll do it on a Wednesday. I'm trying to post these on Wednesdays. But yeah, that was just such a fun era. Like such a simple, nostalgic era that I don't feel connected to anymore, honestly. Like so much has happened, and oh my god, I want to give her a big hug and be like, oh my god girl, like you've got this drive and this excitement for life. And it was just, it's such a nice thing to see, and I wanted everyone to learn and absorb what I was learning and absorbing. I was so excited to share that. Yeah, it's just the internet was like a little bit more of a different place back then. It was beautiful. That was a beautiful time. Lots of shifts, lots of changes, and lots of directions I was shooting for, but I didn't know at the time I was going a completely different way. But you couldn't tell that. That's like God. Like it's like you can tell God what you want, but he's got plans for your own. I see this a lot in my life, like where I want something so bad and I attain it, or I'm able to attain it, but life takes me in a different direction. But the idea of growing to that part is the fun part. Once you're there, you're like, you don't really want the same things anymore, which is really interesting. I remember working my ass off to get a Jeep, and I was able to get a Jeep, and I'm like, now I don't really want a Jeep. I want to go to New York City. There was a time in college where I wanted this certain lifestyle, and I worked really hard to get it, but it took me in a different direction, and I'm so glad I didn't get that, because now I have this, which is even better. But my younger self didn't even know or fathom the idea of even having that life. Yeah, that was a fun little time. And like I said, if you guys are from that era, wow, I love you. Thank you so much for supporting me. That was like one of my favorite times ever on my channel. So it was so much fun. But next week we're gonna do New York City, and yes, we're gonna do New York City Vlogmas. I'll show and share everything that I was going through and kind of like a little bit behind the scenes, and we'll kind of like dive into my more viral era. So thank you guys for watching this one. I love you so much, and I will see you in next week's. Bye.